Okay, so at the end of the last video, we were talking about some special cases where the iNet unicast and the labeled unicast could get confused if it's in the same table. However, we don't need to worry about that here because we're running the labeled unicast in RibINet 3 in all of the locations. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at this route reflector here. So it's worth noting that up till now, we've only seen multi-protocol BGP as an internal BGP setup. And the route reflector, as you know, is really there just to reduce the number of peerings that internal PEs have with each other. So this is really quite extraordinary that we have an external multi-protocol BGP peer, because in a way, this peer is getting involved in the IBGP of the other service provider. And what I mean by that is that the route reflector is just passing on the routes as if it was going IBGP to IBGP. Now, because of that, we have here multi-hop for the fact that it's multi-hop for sure, and we have no next hop change, because it's very important that the route reflector doesn't change the next hop of the VPN routes that are coming from the remote PE. Okay, so in a moment we're going to have a look at normalization for the clear reason that the VPN targets used in the remote provider may not be the same as the targets used here. But prior to that, I just want to look at the data path again and just check that we understand the full resolutions of how this works. So here we have our router 7. Our router 7 wants to go to the VPN in the remote PE, which is P2 remote PE, which is located somewhere here. And it looks at the route which has come in through the VPN. And of course that VPN route has come up to the route reflector and then is being bounced both to R7 and R8, because R8, as well as being an ASBR, is involved in the internal BGP. However, we're on router 7 and we see that route come in, and the resolution of the route is the remote multi-protocol eBGP peer, which is this P2 remote PE, which is the IP address located here. That gets resolved to the IP address, and that has a label which comes from the labeled unicast. So the inner label is the VPN, the label outside is the labeled unicast, and that resolves to the router that informed about the labeled unicast, which is router 8, the ASBR, and of course there's a label switch path to router 8 as well, and that becomes our third label on the packet.